Hello there. So today we had a monitor go down, computer monitor, and it was a very cheap monitor because we bought it at a thrift store a little while ago. So I think it was like 15 bucks or something. So not a huge amount. But it fell, and now it's giving this weird like double screen. Like you get half the screen, but you get twice. And because it was only 15 bucks, my partner was thinking, well, we'll just get another one, which is true. We will just get another one. But I thought, why don't we take it apart and see if we can't fix it? I mean, we have enough time on our hands right now. So I started to, and I brought it for you to see. Look, there it is. This is, we got the back off it, and then I don't know how monitors really work, but I had like taken the screws out here, and the screws out here, you actually have to unscrew like, whoop, can't really see that. You have to actually unscrew like here and here so that they just like pop out. And then the little nubs, you have to unscrew those little nubs. Anyways, so I unscrewed it all and I like popped it out. And it took me longer than I thought it was going to because I had to figure out what I had to unscrew and what was connected to what. And then just had a little look around. And not an expert, but nothing looked broken. It all looked okay. And so I put it back together. And now, so now we've decided like, okay, this thing that's actually giving the signal looks okay. So that means the signal is being out, probably being interpreted poorly. So that means there's an issue with like this thing or like this piece of it down here. So my next step is to try and get the monitor itself apart, which I have no idea how I'm gonna do, but it's already broken. So if I wreck it, whatever. And it's kind of fun to pull it apart and then look around at it and then put it back together. Turns out there's big battery looking things that you aren't supposed to touch because they're full of electricity. So that was good to know. I guess they look like standing up batteries on the little board thing. And I guess they look like water towers. Not look like, well, they kind of do. They act like water towers. Anyways, not a monitor expert, not why I'm talking about this. My partner's whispering capacitors at me, so I guess that is something to do with what I'm talking about. So this is one of those things that like I deconstructed so that I could try and learn about it and try and fix it. And like, how cool would that have been if I had fixed it? I still might. Stay tuned. I mean, I'm not going to do it now. Stay tuned for tomorrow, I guess. I'll update how the monitor fixing went. But I think we can do this in our business too. We're like, do you have like packages that you offer that maybe you don't really use so much anymore, or projects that you have thought about doing but maybe you didn't do them, or that you've already done them, or whatever it is? It's sort of a defined thing that you have within the business process, whatever, and just deconstructing it. What are all of its component pieces? What works? What doesn't? What's bent out of shape? What's a little water tower looking thing that holds electricity that you're not supposed to touch? And how can you apply the things that you learn from that to other pieces of your business, or new projects that you want to take on? Or this is really great for packaging specifically, going through your packaging, which we should probably actually do every year at least, just going through and saying, okay, these pieces work quite well. People respond to this. That's like the problem that they're solving, problem that I'm solving, or it's consistent. People tend to get consistently hung up at this one part of my service or process that I do. And so I'm going to spend some time to work on that. Or maybe this whole project or this whole package hinges on that one piece, but people keep getting hung up on it. And so I'm going to try and rework the whole thing. But if we don't take things apart, or we don't spend the time to look at the details and really evaluate all those little pieces, then I think we can get stuck in working in the business. We never actually get to work on the business. So I think we should do that at least once a year for our packaging. And I think it's a good idea to do anytime that we finish a project or we finish, like a project. Just what worked, what didn't. Go through it. You'll learn for next time. Let me know what you have taken apart and regretted doing so. I'd love to hear your stories about maybe taking apart like a TV or something and then being like, well, those 5 screws are probably important, but I don't know what they're for. I remember when I was first a student in college, I had a refurbished laptop, and then like the power supply had come loose. So I took apart the whole thing, and then I put it back together, but I didn't solder it quite right, so I had to take it all apart again. I ended up taking this thing apart like 3 times. And by the time I got it back together the 3rd time, something wasn't quite back together right because the trackpad didn't quite work, and there was anyways, little pieces of it, and a couple of screws left over. So that's mine. Took apart my laptop too many times, didn't quite get it back together properly. What's your story? What's the thing you've taken apart and then didn't quite get back together properly? I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you tomorrow.